This is the man who fought to the 6th-round draw that we referred to basically as a loss for Chavez because that's the way he took it, but it was a draw.
Well, Molina recognizes the opportunity in front of him, and I think he trained very hard, and he's going to want to make a name for himself, so it should be interesting. And obviously Chavez, the pressure is on him.
Well, the crowd booed the announcement of the decision down in Monterey. Now you see how they walk out on the stage, and you see how the stage is set up. It's a great seat back there on the stage if I was just here spectating.
You know what that's called that he has on there, Alan?
That's called a thing to keep you warm.
There you go. Also known as a sarape.
That's right.
With, of course, the Mexican flag and Mexican colors. And there he is. Good-looking kid.
Yeah, he obviously takes after his mother. We've said that before.
And coming into the song that his father made famous, walking into the ring with Mexico Lindo y Querido.
Mexico Lindo, great song. And again, I made the reference earlier about following the footsteps if you were Michael Jordan. It's pretty much the same. It could be said the same thing in Mexico with Chavez, but he welcomes the challenge. He welcomes all the fighters he puts in front of him. And he says he even wants to be greater than his father. And he has ambitions. And he did grow. I got to tell you, he looks significantly taller.
He's filling out a little bit, too, because when I first started in his fights, he was a rail job. He's filling out pretty well.
Mom must be tall because Pops is only 5'7".
Okay, let's go to Lupe Contreras.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our next bout of the evening, a 6-round special attraction in the super lightweight division. The judges are Dwayne Ford, Patricia Morse-Jarman, and Jerry Roth. Our referee in charge is Toby Gibson. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He steps into the ring wearing the solid black trunks and weighing in at an official 145 1/2 pounds. His professional record, 8 victories with 1 defeat, 1 draw, and 4 of his victories coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Pátzcuaro, Michoacán, Mexico, Carlos El Rey Molina. Across the ring in the red corner, he returns this evening hoping to avenge his one and only blemish on his otherwise professional record. He steps in wearing the colors of Mexico, green, white, and red, and weighing in at an official 146 pounds. He is undefeated as a pro with 23 victories, with 1 draw, and 18 of his victories coming by way of knockout. The blood of a champion courses through his veins. And this evening, the legend continues. De Culiacán, Sinaloa, Mexico, Julio César Chavez Jr.
Okay, gentlemen, I've given your instructions in your respective dressing rooms prior to this fight. Any questions from the red corner? Any questions from the blue corner? Considering this a legal punch on both boxers, give me a clean fight. Good luck to both of you.
Your referee is Toby Gibson, and I'll be curious to see how fast Julio comes out for this fight.
Well, you know, he doesn't have an extensive amateur background, but he's very poised in the fights that I've seen. He seems very poised, very calm, doesn't seem too aggressive to want to put on a knockout, spectacular fashion show.
He's scheduled for 6 rounds. Super lightweight action.
The interesting thing is how much Julio César Chavez Jr. has grown and filled out. He started off as a really lanky kid, I remember, before his pro debut, and all of a sudden, the guy turns 20 years old, and he's becoming a man in front of our own eyes, and it's tough to see that, and that's what his father says. You know, it's tough to see your kid grow up and do the same thing that you were doing at his age.
And he's going to be powerful if he fills out that tall body of his and could be a dominant force And we're going to see how he bounces back tonight. He did come out very aggressive. He was embarrassed. I asked him, what did your dad say? And he said, what didn't he say? So he really got an earful from Senior after that lackadaisical effort. He's fighting the same guy tonight, so we can measure what kind of changes he might have made. Trains up in the mountains just like his father did for this fight.
And just like his father, a nice slow starter, and likes to figure out his opponent, likes to be patient. And you know, obviously, Senior is 5'7", Junior is now 6 feet. I wonder how Mom looks there. But ironically, they have a similar style. He still has that beautiful punch to the liver, just like Pops.
Oh, good left hand there.
Just like Dad.
That was a nice hook.
That's right, and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., I think the hardest part about his draw last time around was that it didn't come against a guy who had 40, 50 fights that you can say, well, he had so much experience and he just outworked me. No, it came against a guy who was 8-1 in Carlos Molina. He's trying to erase that blemish, which is the draw, and I think that was the toughest part. You can't blame, well, the other guy was more experienced, he knew more, he used his, rough tactics or whatever. He just got outworked.
No, you're right, and at the same time, it's especially frustrating because you don't want to have those sort of fights, or they can kind of help you early in the career. You can learn from it, you can benefit and grow, and we'll see tonight if that's the case. Molina came here to fight tonight, though, guys. He's letting his hands go.
He did the first time around, and this is no different. Molina is not intimidated by the last name of his opponent tonight. He doesn't care who his daddy is. He says he's in there along with me, and tonight, it's all about us two.
It's scheduled for 6 rounds. As I said, Junior would like to be fighting 10-rounders now, but that's the way it goes so far in his career. He wants to move up in competition, but he's got something to deal with right now in the ring, and Molina's aggressive.
Molina letting his hands go on the inside.
Great combinations by Molina. Now, Chavez Jr. trying to mount a comeback, but that's the hard part about fighting an opponent like Molina. He gets his hands in there because Chavez Jr. is so long, and he's not working from the outside. He likes to fight inside, and that's where his opponent can get those uppercuts working as he did in that combination.
Just like Dad, he likes to fight on the inside, which isn't usually conducive to his style. Nice combinations.
A very hot round, picked up especially the last 30 seconds. Molina's bringing it. There's Senior. Oh, he's frustrated.
He wants to jump in there again, Molina. We listen in.
Pushing gets in your way.
Stretch out your legs. Please rinse the protection. Did I win the round? They say yes.
I got your minute.
Breathe deeply. You got to keep working them. Now we go to Molina's corner.
Watch the one.
Here's Molina inside, being busy with his hands, quick combinations, and Chavez answering back, left hooks to the body. Molina with lead right hand, left hook, again, quick combinations inside, being very active. It's going to be a tough round to score because do you like the activity or do you like the harder punches being delivered by Chavez? And I can see, Bernardo, why Chavez maybe wants to go up with more rounds in his fights because like his father, he's not a very, you're a slow starter in the 6th round. If you got a fighter who's very active, he can steal those rounds, therefore steal the victory.
Plus
that's exactly what Molina's trying to do, actually. You got to be aggressive in a 6-round fight.
Yeah, you can't take a round to study your opponent. You can't give away 3 minutes and then expect to come back and win. It's just such a tight fight. There's not enough time, and I think that's what Chavez Jr. is depending on for his future. He knows he's a slow starter. He likes to study his opponent, but then again, that puts him at a disadvantage in a 6-round fight, whereas in a 10, he has the 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th round to finally, pressure.
Molina going to the body.
And guys, I don't know if I've seen a jab from either fighter.
No.
And that doesn't bode well for Chavez Jr. because he's got the length to work from outside. He just wants to go in there and pummel his opponent.
And he's an accurate puncher when he does throw. I'm wondering why he's abandoning the jab at the moment.
Beautiful body punches by Molina. It worked the first time around. He's trying to implement the same blueprint the second time around.
Now, granted, Molina's punches aren't necessarily hurting Chavez, but he's scoring.
Could be another close fight between these two. Nice right hand. Exactly. Dad's not going to like that.
But I think Dad will like that, like himself. Chavez seems to be able to take a good punch. Chavez Sr., of course, I think when you ask other fighters, his greatest attribute was that he had a cement chin.
His kid has been wobbled a couple of times, but never been down, seriously hurt, so he wants to keep that open.
Toe-to-toe and head-to-head.
Just beating him to the punch is what he's doing.
Love these style fights that you can fight in a phone booth.
I think Chavez came in looking for the knockout. Molina's scoring more points.
He's just being busier, Alan. He's being busier. He's letting his hands go, and he's going for broke.
I think Chavez would be better off if he used his jab and fight from the outside. That way he can get more steam behind his right hand, but he's content right now to stand noggin to noggin and toe-to-toe with his Molina.
And you got to give Molina credit because he's defending himself supremely well because he's not only protecting the body but also the chin at the same time. Just as I say that, he comes in.
Yeah, 3 left hooks. Molina very wisely trying an uppercut from that position.
Well, Chavez determined